All right, guys. So we have to talk about an interesting story today. As a class of fourth grade students was given a race and gender survey at their school. Okay, now this school, which is the Riverview Intermediate School, had partnered with this, I guess this company or nonprofit or whatever called the Equity Alliance of Minnesota. And I guess that this survey was a part of this alliance in terms of what they're doing, right? And I think that this is just a part of a movement to implement critical race theory and to talk about equity and race in schools. It's obvious to me that this is what this initiative is a part of, right? This is a far left-wing initiative, and people like Joy Reid will still pretend that this type of stuff doesn't exist. But anyways, so apparently, some students were confused about this survey, right? As it asked questions about gender identity. And one student asked, hey, can I ask my parents about these questions to give me a better understanding of exactly like what they're asking? And the teacher said, no, right? So when the teacher said no, some smart students knew that something was wrong, right? They got nervous because basically their teacher is telling them not to tell their parents about this survey, right? That is mighty suspicious. And this young fourth grade girl went home and told her parents and then subsequently addressed the school board about this survey. Take a look.
My name is Hayley Yasgar. I was in fourth grade at Riverview Intermediate School last year. During distance learning, I was asked to complete the equity survey. My teacher said that I could not skip any questions even when I didn't understand. One question asked us what gender we identified with. I was very confused along with a lot of other classmates. A boy in my class asked my teacher if his mom could explain the question to him because even after the teacher explained it, he still didn't understand. My teacher told him that he was not allowed to ask his mom and that we could not repeat any of the questions to our parents. I want the school board to know how uncomfortable and nervous this made me. My mom always tells me I can tell her anything, but she also tells me I can trust my teachers too. Being asked to hide this from my mom made me feel very uncomfortable. I was doing something wrong.
So when I was in the survey, I was taking a few questions, and on the gender identification question, I got very confused and kind of nervous after a boy asked his mom, after the teacher explained it, that we could not tell our parents anything. That just made me very nervous and uncomfortable.
Yeah. Has your mom ever told you never to, when anyone, an adult especially, says don't tell mom, that's probably not a good thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet she did tell you that. Kelsey, tell me what happened when you heard that the school was actually giving the survey and instructing children not to tell their parents about it.
The funny thing is we did know that we were informed that this equity audit was going to be taking place, but the survey itself, they didn't inform us of the day it was taking place, or we weren't really sure a lot of details behind it. And due to the lack of transparency from the school district and from Equity Alliance of Minnesota, the third party that the school district has brought in to perform this audit, we were not informed of the questions on this survey. And when my daughter came forth and told me that her teacher, had said you cannot skip any questions even if you don't understand them. And when children were asking questions and asking if they could ask their parents about it, I was very upset when I found out that she was told not to repeat any of the questions to me or any other adult in her life. I do want to say, though, I believe that this wasn't just a single case that her teacher made this decision. We have been informed that this came down from administration, and Equity Alliance of Minnesota instructed them to make sure the children did not share this information with their parents, and that should pose a great concern in any parent's eyes.
So, all right, guys. So as you saw there, that was the fourth grade student and her mom, discussing this situation. Now, I don't understand why, if this curriculum that they're implementing is harmless according to them, why is it that you wouldn't want the students to tell their parents about it? right? Or to help them understand the questions. Obviously, there's something that you're asking and that you're trying to teach and that you're trying to push on these children that you don't think parents would be very happy with. And if you know that parents would not be very happy with it, then why the hell did you do it in the first place? Guys, can you imagine a child coming home to his or her parents saying, hey, in school, my teacher told me not to tell you about this survey that we're taking? Can you imagine the alarms that sets off in a parent's head about what is being taught to their children in school? Also, can you imagine that a kid, after being exposed to some of these questions, right, in this survey, we're talking about elementary school children, going home and asking their parents, hey, mom, what's a transgender person? What is non-binary? Right? Can you just imagine? Now that parent who was putting off that talk until their child got older, right, got old enough to actually understand sexuality, they have to now sit down and talk with their elementary school child about this subject. Now you got to have a conversation. That's the problem. This is politics. This is forcing something on children that they're not necessarily ready for, right? Also, on top of that, I got a pet peeve with the question, because the question says male, female, transgender, non-binary, and I think it says, what is your gender expression or gender identity? Well, I got an issue, because the gender theories want to claim the word man and woman and boy and girl as gender. They acknowledge that male and female are supposed to refer to sex. So I don't like the fact that they use male and female, okay? If we're going to play the semantics game, let's at least get it right. Let's establish that male and female refers to sex, right? Can we at least keep that? But no, they don't want that. They want to just muddy the whole waters. And then they want to pretend like conservatives are dumb when they're like, wait, hold on now. Biological men are biological men, biological women are biological women, right? Or males are males and females are females. They want to play dumb out like conservatives know what they're talking about. But yet, those on the left, they don't even want to get that language straight. But anyways, that's besides the point. The point is that the fact that this school told these kids not to tell their parents tells you that they don't even think what they're doing is right? They don't even think what they're doing is appropriate for kids, because otherwise, what would be the point of trying to hide it? And I'm so glad that videos like this are coming out. I'm so glad stories like this are coming out, because the left-wing media tries to pretend like this is not happening in schools, that kids aren't learning this stuff, when it is clear and obvious that this is what is happening. And you got people on the left that think it's insane to suggest that, maybe we should have body cameras or cameras in classrooms, right? They're all for having cameras on police officers. Every police officer in the country needs a camera, right? Which I agree with. I actually do agree with police officers having body cameras, and I don't think they should ever be allowed to be turned off, right? I actually do agree with that. But I also think that just like protecting our society is important and we should have transparency there, we should also have transparency when it comes to educating our society. We should have transparency with both. But again, the left, they lack consistency, right? If you have schools hiding things from parents, yeah, we need cameras, right? Because you've shown that you're willing to hide things from parents that parents obviously should know about, because they're trying to push an agenda on kids that they know that parents are not going to be accepting of. They know. So again, because of that, because of your determination to push an agenda on kids that parents aren't going to like and aren't going to agree with, then yeah, we probably should monitor what's going on. I'm sorry, right? Because kids should be taught what parents are okay with them being taught. Most parents, 99.999% of them, are okay with kids learning, reading, writing, math, science, all the things, history, all the things they need to know, right? But what they're not happy with is when you start to try to educate children on subjects that should be reserved for conversations with parents. That's where you kind of step over the line. The public school, the government is not the parent. The parent is the parent. And this is just another example of the government trying to overstep their boundaries in terms of what they should and should not be teaching the kids. They shouldn't be giving surveys like this. They shouldn't be trying to implement equity in schools. You should be focused on equal opportunity. Kids come in, Those who want to learn, right? Those who parents are involved in the schools are going to do better. You come in, you do that, you learn, your basic subjects, right? And those who succeed, right? That's how it should be. You don't need equity. It's up to the parent and the teacher and the student in regards to how much that child learns. Point blank, period. Equity ain't going to fix any of that. You either want it or you don't. But one thing we can all agree on is that these schools are pushing an agenda on these kids, and that the government is essentially trying to take the place of the parent, right? But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.